just coming in today to give you a little bit of a rundown of our session in the case management conference. So this week was the ODS Case Management Conference on Wednesday and Thursday, and our team had a session late Wednesday afternoon where we were able to share a little bit about the overall project kind of vision and goals. Sean provided some updates. They got to see the system demo that you're about to see. And then we had a polling discussion and answered some questions. And there's some data from the polls here, but I think the takeaway for us as we debriefed on it was that seems to be a little bit of a shift from people the last couple of years being cautiously optimistic. And while that's still definitely out there, we're seeing people turn to a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more curious, people really excited. And I think being able to see the system, even though there's big disclaimers, this is very early sandbox environment, this is not our system, but we want to share. This has been a long time coming. And the feedback we've been getting the last few years is we'll believe it when we see it. We've been hearing about this case management system for a while. And so we wanted to make it real for people. And from a lot of hard work from the vendor, from our project team, getting that sandbox together quickly as possible, we were able to do that. And there is a lot of good feedback about that. So we were happy to hear that. I think another takeaway that I took was in that last question, where do you want your feedback heard most? And of course, we're going to be collecting feedback during all these stages, but was curious to see what people really wanted their feedback to be heard. And of course, it was in testing. And we're going to make sure that we have opportunities to collect feedback in all sorts of testing environments. As Sean was laying that out, when we get to a point where we have part of the system that's front end user facing, we're going to be able to set up that and be able to collect feedback from everybody when we can show more of the system. We'll be able to go about that kind of schedule of engagement once we get that kind of timeline that's in progress right now. So once we understand how the technical things are rolling out, we're going to be able to put an engagement kind of roadmap together and make sure that we have all of the spaces we need in there to be collecting feedback to make sure that the system's going to be able to be rolled out in the way that people need it. So overall, it was great. We had over 300 people in attendance. Again, really solid feedback, really good engagement, people really excited. But Sean and Alicia and Bob were the main presenters. So wondering if you all wanted to share your perspectives of the day. Also, if anyone else here happened to make it to the session, any of your feedback, just take a minute to see what anyone else has to say.
Well, this is Bob. I just wanted to say that I've been through a lot of these things over the course of my career, and it is really encouraging that this was an end of the day session and like 300 people joined the session and they stayed through the end and they were asking questions proactively. And so there was a lot of interest. They were also asking about features. They were saying, hey, give us more, give us what we want. And that is a good sign for excitement in the community.
Yeah, I'll also add that I think it was a really good session. There was a lot of questions and answers. The format we had was the webinar, which I really liked because we had the opportunity to have as many people. But the downside was it wasn't as like collaborative as we've had in previous years, like being in person. So it was a mixed feeling for me. I appreciated that a lot more people could join the session, but wanted to hear people's questions or concerns. I think when you're asking a question, sometimes over chat, it's harder to understand what the concern is and also harder to answer in a way that is accurate as we could be with that, or there's some nuances to a situation that's just hard to get across in chat. And so overall, I think it went really well. It was so exciting to see the excitement from people and being able to show them what it actually looked like.
Thanks, everyone.